Pier 17 to be exact, and brought to you by Chase. Welcome back to Jalen and Jacoby. Jalen Rose, it didn't feel like it, but there were 3 other games in the NBA playoffs last night that did not involve Dame Lillard. All I want to talk about is Dame Lillard, but because we're very serious journalists, we will cover some other topics. Last night, the Sixers didn't just close out the Nets series. They waxed the Nets in Game 5 to win the series. Jalen Rose, Embiid contributed 23 points and 13 rebounds. He looked great. What do you think about the Sixers' performance?
Here's what I think. Other than the drama that I was able to get from Dame and Russ and whatever's going to happen with the Spurs and the Nuggets series, the playoffs in the second round officially kicks it off to me.
Yes.
Because the 4 teams in the East, the ones that get eliminated will be soul-searching and not making their goals by not making it to the conference finals and or the NBA finals without LeBron. And in the West, we obviously have Rockets and Warriors. For the Sixers, I'm looking forward to seeing Jimmy Butler versus Kawhi Leonard. I'm looking forward to seeing Joel Embiid going up against stout defenders like Marc Gasol and Serge Ibaka. I'm looking to see Pascal Siakam play against Ben Simmons. Those are the matchups right there. Can Kyle Lowry knock down shots? This is going to be a phenomenal series, and everybody's going to be intrigued by it.
Well, you mentioned the Raptors, and they are in the second round courtesy of another win against the Magic. You remember that they lost that game 1. It was a DJ Augustine 3 that took them. Ever since then, they've made very light work of the Magic. The Raptors beat the Magic in Toronto to close out that series, held Vucevic to, 6 points. They completely erased Vucevic from this series. How did the Raptors make such light work of the Magic?
Well, they're a veteran-laden team if you look at them, and all of a sudden you add Kawhi Leonard and Danny Green's championship pedigree that balances out your roster. You have Fred VanVleet, one of the best backup point guards in the game. Powell is giving them quality minutes on the wing. Like, they've been able to establish a level of depth over these past couple of seasons, which may be an advantage when they go against the Sixers, who have not been able to do so. So for the Raptors, this is why you bring in a Kawhi Leonard, to see if he can catapult you to the next level.
And one thing that was spoken about after game 1, but then kind of went away, was the play of Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry's kind of found his spot on this team. He's no longer asked to score over 20 points. He had 14 points, 9 assists. He's been playing really well, playing good defense. It seems like he's much better suited to be a floor general, a 3rd or 4th option. Siakam scores a lot. Leonard scores a lot. They've got other weapons in Green and Gasol. Do you think that Kyle Lowry is better off now with this roster than he was in years past in the playoffs?
Absolutely, because the chess match that's going to take place, I just laid it out for everybody. Okay, Danny Green on J.J. Redick, Pascal Siakam on Ben Simmons. These are going to be the matchups. Kawhi Leonard, Jimmy Butler. And I talked to you about the bigs also. So now for Kyle Lowry, he gets a chance to ease into the game, because usually he's going to be guarding somebody like McConnell when he comes in off the bench.
Yep.
They play him in 2-guard situations. So there will be times that he's stuck on J.J. Redick, but throughout the body of the game, Kyle Lowry's not going to have to play against the primary option. So therefore, it should not affect his offensive rhythm, and it should give him the opportunity to still stay fresh enough to make his open shots.
I mean, there's so much intrigue in this second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs. I mean, these are the 4 teams we expected to be there, and these are all 4 teams that have NBA Finals expectations, if not championship expectations. So let's take a look at how these 2 teams, the Raptors and the Sixers, fared against each other during the season. They played, they played 4 games. The Raptors won 3 of them. Points per game, pretty close. Offensive efficiency, almost exactly the same. Field goal percentage, almost exactly the same. And also, you broke down these matchups. Take a look at them. They're right there in front of you. This is going to be very interesting. Like, I don't know who's going to win this series. I don't know who's going to win the Celtics series either, the Celtics against the Bucks. What do you think will happen looking at these matchups?
I think these teams are very evenly matched. I talked to you about who I think is going to be guarding who. I think a key player that gets overlooked in the Raptors dynamic is the shooting of Danny Green. He was second in the NBA in three-point percentage. He's a knockdown shooter just like J.J. Redick represents for the Philadelphia 76ers. But the difference is for the Sixers, he's their only knockdown shooter. The Toronto Raptors have a few guys that could get going from long range. So that three-point shooting is going to be a difference. Also, just look at body types. When you watch the Nets play and you see Allen inside and you see Davis inside, who wasn't able to participate in the last couple of games, these are slender guys.
Yep.
Okay? They don't have the bulk. They don't have a chance to play against Joel Embiid on the post. Now all of a sudden, he goes against a team that had pretty good success of taking away his layups and dunks and keeping him more perimeter oriented. And also taking away Ben Simmons' drives to the basket because we know he's not a shooter outside of the paint. So we'll see now them able to collapse their defense and suffocate the post-up matchups and now try to make the Philadelphia 76ers be a perimeter-oriented team. Will the real Jimmy Butler stand up? If he does, then the Sixers will win. If he does not, if we get the fourth, fifth option type Jimmy Butler and or Tobias Harris isn't able to get himself going like he did with the Clippers, not like he's playing with the Sixers, that will give the Sixers a chance to advance if that happens.
I mean, with Siakam and Ibaka and Gasol clogging up the middle, trying to, take Embiid out of his game, that's going to put a lot of pressure on Redick and, like you said, Jimmy Butler and Tobias Harris to knock down the shots. They're going to get the opportunities, but we're just going to see if they can knock them down as they are expected to. So excited for the second round of the Eastern Conference playoffs.
I'm
I honestly have no idea who is going to win.
Just can't
I'm also
hide it.
very excited to get back to talking about Video Game Dame. Logo Lillard. We'll hear what Paul George had to say about the shot right after this.
Less sugar Greek yogurt from Chobani has half the sugar of other yogurts.
Oh, thanks, Gemini.
Which makes you wonder what else you could have less of.
Goodbye, Michael.
Goodbye, Michael.
Goodbye, Michael.
We don't just make cars. We make technology that moves people. This is the 2019